He drove in 3 runs against the Sox. It was awesome. He totally lived up to the hype. But here's why I love this so much. My favorite thing that happened last night, his dad, his pops, watching from the stands, recording the at-bat. When he hits the home run, watch him just lose his mind. The guy goes nuts watching his kid on a national stage. And then Franco crosses the plate and points at his dad after he hits the home run. I was in tears. His dad was in tears. He said afterwards he's going to take the ball back to the DR, back to the Dominican Republic, to his hometown, and put it on display.
That's awesome.
Wander Franco.
So cool.
Remember the name, remember his debut. Loved it so much.
He's great. That's great. Great job.
Oh, this is a wonderful story. We are on day 2 of baseball's crackdown. Look at Scherzer. On day 2 of baseball's crackdown on putting sticky stuff all over the baseball. Baseball decided to enforce it with umpire checks. And I guess you can ask to be checked as many times as you want, because Max Scherzer was checked for sticky stuff 3 times. And he progressively gets madder and madder. This is the 3rd time where he decides to remove his hat, glove, and belt. Later runs his hand through his hair and says it's just sweat. So he gets out of this inning, he gets out of the next inning, and on the way back to the dugout, he stares at Joe Girardi. Well, Joe Girardi is fired up. Now, it looks like Joe Girardi is threatening Max Scherzer to fight. He's not. John Boy, which is does a fantastic job on YouTube, pointed out he's actually yelling at a bench coach for the Nationals. But still, either way, Girardi's fired up, gets tossed. Now, guess what? It's not over. It gets even better. Let's check out Sergio, who decides to go another step for the A's. He gets checked. Oh, hats off, gloves off, belts off. And if your belt goes off, what else you got to do?
Yeah, let's go.
What are you doing, dude?
Let's go.
So look, there is some criticism that this is slowing down the game. But here's the thing. Baseball is trying to get it right. And it is the right thing to do. First of all, you're here for drama and nuance and storytelling, and you're getting tons of it with these checks. So I gotta love it. Second of all, since this crackdown, the spin rate, which helps you throw the ball faster and more control and put more curve on your curveball, has been the lowest month in 3 years. So, look, this looks a little silly, but it's the right thing to do to stop the gray area of pitchers using sticky stuff and increase offense in baseball. And honestly, it's just fun to watch. So great job. I'm loving it.
He wants replay and he wants more checks, Nick.
Great. Yeah, who are you?
Works the Wild.
I'm loving it.
Get those checks.
Going
Play
on
a little
here.
draw in a blank.
I'm loving it.
Hawks Bucks game 1. Tonight from Milwaukee, Giannis versus Trey. Trey led the Hawks to a big upset of the Sixers in round 2. Giannis and company beat the injury-riddled Nets in an upset of their own. So, Brandon, the Hawks' chances of upsetting the Milwaukee Bucks are blank.
We missed the opportunity to talk about this team in the regular season. This is coach dependent. We're talking about a team that no longer have Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce, 3 years there. A whopping 63 wins, 120 losses. He was fired in March. Nate McMillan took over in early March, and since then, they've been 35-15, including the playoffs, an 8-4 record in the playoffs. So for me, this is totally coach dependent. I don't know what happened with Nate McMillan back in 2000 in Seattle, then in Portland, and then in Indiana. Never was a winner, but it seems to me that he may be taking, going to another level and catching a second breath as a coach, because this is just absolutely phenomenal what he's done, and nobody talked about him in a regular season. So it's coach dependent, Nick.
So I think your Nate McMillan focus has been well-founded the last few weeks, and he's obviously done a great job. Trey's done a great job. But to me, I said Grizzlies Spurs 2011. That was when the 8-seed Grizzlies upset a basically healthy, I think Manu got dinged during the series, a basically healthy 61-win Spurs team in round 1. To me, Wilds, this would be the biggest upset in the playoffs since then. If the Hawks beat a healthy Bucks team, DiVincenzo notwithstanding, right after the Bucks came off that war with Brooklyn, it would be the most shocking upset in the playoffs in a decade. So that's where I went. Grizzlies, Spurs, 2011.
So I said Bogdan dependent. Bogdan's going to be a game-time decision with his knee. He lit up the Bucks. And remember, he had all that drama like, you traded me to the Bucks. I don't want to go to the Bucks. I want to go to the Hawks. So it's a nice little storyline. But if his knee is not right, I don't think the Hawks are going to have enough firepower to hang with Milwaukee. And believe it or not, I know I sound like a broken record here. I am still waiting for the breakout Milwaukee decides to hit their threes at their normal pace that they did in the regular season. It hasn't happened. They still haven't lost at home, but I'm still waiting for that big offensive outpouring. So still, I don't think the Hawks have enough firepower if Bogdan can't go, Jenna.
All right, let's talk some Sixers. GM Daryl Morey has heard all the backlash about how his team once again fell short of a conference finals appearance, about Ben Simmons' struggles, about all of it. And yet he's still far more optimistic than most. Take a listen.
A lot of what I'm reading, I frankly don't understand. People saying the Sixers are in a bad situation. I don't choose to come here. Doc doesn't choose to come here if this is a bad situation. I mean, really 25 or 26 teams in this league would love to be in our situation with an MVP caliber top player, an all-star, a near all-star, great young players who are signed for the long term, good veterans. So we've got a good foundation. We just have to do better. I have to do better. Everyone has to do better.
I have to do better also. Brandon, Daryl Morey's comments are blank.
Jenna, this could potentially be lowering the bar, but look, I was driving with my kids and my wife the other day, and they were on YouTube, and they saw something, and I just turned around. I had to stop the car, and I'm like, look, guys, I'm teaching you something. Here's the #1 lesson in life. Believe none of what you hear, none of what you read, and half of what you see. Like, you never know what these people are actually believe, what they're saying. Like, you never know, because it's a big business. Now, as a player and as a fan, you want your teams to win now. Daryl Morey coming out and saying this could potentially be lowering the bar because, look, there's no LeBron James in the East no more. You could easily take a run at this thing year after year after year. Obviously, you have the Nets there, but there's no reason why you are sitting at home right now with the team that you have. So as a player and as a fan, you're looking at right now, but if you're Daryl Morey's like, look, I do have Embiid, the most dominant player in the NBA today, and what does the next 3-5 years look like? Can we potentially get to Ben Simmons and get a breakthrough, or can we move him and bring in a piece that may fit better with Joel Embiid? So, yeah, who knows, right? Because he is a general manager. He's running this team. You don't know what he's thinking at the end of the day. Lowering the bar, maybe.
So here's a couple things. One is massive plot twist in Brandon's anecdote, because I thought old man Brandon was going to say, I was in the car with my kids and they were on that old YouTube, and I was like, if you don't get that racket down there, I'm going to turn this car around right now. But that's not what happened. So it's a big plot twist. That's first of all. Second of all, I think this is 100% accurate by Daryl. He's right that 25 or 26 teams would love to be the Sixers. That doesn't change the fact that the Sixers blew a golden opportunity. And bonus take, Wilds, and this, I have not talked to Daryl. Much like Daryl is a legitimate friend of mine, Wilds. I know you love that, but I haven't talked to him.
Here we go.
I think everyone is more convinced they are trading Ben Simmons than the Sixers are. I don't think it is in Daryl's history to trade a guy at his low point value-wise. So I think the Ben Simmons trade everyone's waiting for is only happening if they get a massive package in return. So all of these things kind of piled into one. Most importantly, Brandon threatened to turn the car around on the kids. I don't care what he says.
I want to know what everybody was watching in the car, Brandon.
My answer was reasonable, Daryl. It's a very reasonable statement. I think it's spot on. That's not Daryl's actual name. His actual nickname is Trader Daryl. He made 70-some-odd trades when he was with the Rockets. So, but I agree with Nick. Like, as you look around, it's hard to make a Ben Simmons trade work that makes the Sixers better. The answer might be to make Ben Simmons better. Now, does he stay there for the rest of his career? I don't know. But trading him at his low point, I don't think will work. Will he work with the Sixers? Will he go play for the Olympics? Doesn't look like it, although he should. Or will he go do his own thing, which I think is a bad idea? Hopefully he'll stay in the gym with someone from the Sixers organization. Oh, sorry, Daryl kicked Nick off. Sorry, Daryl, his legitimate friend Daryl Morey got into the system.
Friends.
Out of there. I am trading Ben Simmons, so now we know, Jenna.